If your clients want to be able to change content on the websites you are building for them, you gotta think Headless CMS. In this lesson, we're gonna do an overview of Headless CMS in general and Contentful in particular. So we're gonna take a look at a high-level structure of Contentful, understand Contentful delivery methods, and learn Contentful app domain model. During my freelancing days, clients would frequently ask if they could change content on their website. And back in the days, we had basically two choices. Either go with a full-blown CMS like a WordPress, or just do a custom development, right? But then it's going to be a little bit hard. You'll have to do authentication, right? Create some kind of CRUD operation where, the clients can update the content so you can pull it from the database. So once I actually attempted to do that, and it was way more than I expected. So I had to deal with all this stuff. And really after that, I'll just go with a WordPress. Nowadays, a better solution is to use Headless CMS. You can choose what content you want to put and what content you can get from the API, and then advanced editor comes out of the box. So Headless CMS is basically a set of API that delivers your content and provides editing UI. Actually, Headless CMS came into existence not because of small clients that wanted to change a few pages or content on a few pages on their website. Really was driven by large companies, because those large companies started having their content in the different mediums, right? They would have like several websites, phone app, and marketing email, right? And there was a need to keep the content in one place, and if possible, reuse it too. So it is beneficial to learn Headless CMS, whether you are a freelance developer and working with small clients, or you work for a large company. On the example of Contentful, let's take a look at a high-level structure of the Headless CMS. As a developer, you will be using CLI or SDK or a Contentful web app to define content model and content types. The clients or content creators, they will be using a web app to put the content right into those content models that you created for them. And Contentful is API first, so all the data that you put, it will be fed into content management API. On the front, Contentful has 4 APIs that delivers your content. So you're going to have a content delivery API, you're going to have content preview API, you're going to have GraphQL API, which has both delivery and preview. And then you also have images API. Content delivery API delivers your published content. Content preview API delivers your draft or choose content so you can review. And Content Delivery API and Images API is backed by CDN, so those APIs are pretty fast. When getting content into your app or website, you want to use Contentful SDKs or libraries to get that content from the APIs, because those libraries are built by Contentful with throttling and resilience in mind in case you're gonna get too many requests, so it's getting retried for you. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the content delivery methods. The first method is dynamic on a server. So you have a full stack app, right? It can be Laravel, for example, can be Next.js, Ruby on Rails, right? You get the content from Contentful API on the server, and then you send your assembled page to the browser. And you can basically put a CDN in front of your server, so when content is requested, you already got it from Contentful, and then your server doesn't get hits, right? So the browser or the request that's coming from the client will hit the CDN. The second method is static site generation. So basically, you use some kind of static site generator like Gatsby, for example, and the content is fetched from Contentful API during the build time. And then your app is deployed in like CDN, something like Netlify. So in this case, you're gonna get your content only once, and then all the requests, right, are going to get served from CDN, and it's going to be very fast. A third content delivery method is dynamic on the client. So basically, you have a single page application that runs on your client, right, web browser, and then that application just hits the Contentful API, right? So every request that client makes, basically it's not cached or anything, it just goes straight to the Contentful API. And Contentful API is pretty generous. I think on a free plan it has like a 5 million requests per month or something. But on a paid plan, right, it has even more. So you should be really worried about hitting Contentful API too much. And besides, it's very durable and very fast. In a real world, when you're building an application, you're probably not going to use only one of these delivery methods, right? You're going to be using a hybrid approach, right? Maybe you're going to have a full stack app and you're going to request some of the pages, you can get them created during the build time, right? Some of the data you may grab on the server, right, if you have a full stack application, and then some of the data you can fetch in the React component, right, so the user has a better experience. I think Next.js is the better use case for this, and it allows you to do static page generation. It's also a full stack app, and then it has a React client components where you can grab data client side if you need. Now let's take a look at the Contentful web app domain one. First, you have a user, and user is anyone who has a Contentful account, and the user who creates organization is assigned to be an owner of this organization. Organization is your main account, and it's tied into subscription and billing. A space is a repository of the content, and content is logically separated in the spaces. Think of a space as a GitHub repository, right? So clients may have a space for their email marketing content, and then the space for their website. Environments are entities within the space, and they allow you to create and maintain different versions of content. Think of environments as Git branches. So when you have a free account, you are allowed to have 3 environments, and every space has a master environment by default. This completes the introduction to Contentful. Now you know how Contentful works on a high level. You're familiar with different delivery methods, and obviously hybrid approach will be your go-to approach. And since you're going to be working a lot in Contentful web app, now you're familiar with its domain model. In the next video, we are going to do a Contentful web app walkthrough, so please check it out.